Hey everyone, DigitalOcean Holdings is an interesting small cap company I've been following for several years. I'm curious where the stock price could end up to finish the year out in 2024. So I've created this stock price prediction model to answer that question. So come along, follow along, and watch me conduct this stock price prediction for this interesting small cap growth stock DigitalOcean Holdings.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So one of the things I'm going to need to make this stock price prediction is DigitalOcean's current share price. As of this recording, it's trading at $35.87 per share, down from the peak valuations of over $120 per share. DigitalOcean Holdings is experiencing headwinds as its growth rate is slowing down. Sure, it was still above 10% in the most recent update, and management is forecasting roughly 11% growth for 2024 on the top line, but the industry overall is expected to grow by over 20%. So the industry that it operates in is growing by 20%, while DigitalOcean is expected to only grow by 10%, which means it's losing market share. So that has some investors concerned, and the stock price faced some headwinds in 2023. It's doing relatively well. It's doing okay in 2024. It's kind of flat. New CEO came in February. So the company's in an interesting position right now going into 2024. Now, all of those factors I mentioned has the stock valuation trading relatively cheaply, and it's been at this level roughly since about 2022. You could see the valuation has flatlined since then, since coming back down significantly off the high. It's trading at a forward price to earnings of 19.33, where it's been roughly for the last couple of years. I'm going to need this to make my stock price prediction. Okay, I also need DigitalOcean Holdings earnings per share forecast for 2025. Since I'm making the price prediction for 2024, I need the estimates for 2025. And given the wide fluctuations I usually see in earnings per share estimates from Wall Street, DigitalOcean Holdings is rare in that its EPS estimate hasn't changed all that much. 90 days ago, analysts on Wall Street that were following DigitalOcean Holdings stock thought it was going to deliver $1.87 in earnings per share. That increased slightly to $1.89 60 days ago, then down to $1.86 30 days ago, and it's remained there ever since. Now, typically, it's not rare to see earnings per share estimates fluctuate up and down 25, 40, 50% in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, as companies report earnings, as more information is released on the macroeconomic, on the sector situation. And so to find DigitalOcean Holdings EPS estimates staying relatively flat is a surprising rare occurrence out of all of these companies that I follow. All right, so now that we have the numbers that we need, we can begin our stock price prediction for DigitalOcean Holdings for 2024. So the earnings per share estimate of $1.86, I just showed you where I got that from. The forward price to earnings is the current forward PE ratio at the market, 1933. And if you will apply that forward PE to the estimated EP, you get $35.95 for DigitalOcean stock price by the end of the year. And surprisingly, that's right about where it's currently trading at, the market price, $35.87. And the prediction is for $35.95 if nothing else changes. However, I suspect the forward PE multiple of this company is going to drift upwards. And if the forward PE were to rise to 22, then the stock price could increase to $41 per share. If the forward PE were to rise to 25, then the stock price could rise to $46 per share. But if things worsen for this cloud computing small cap stock, then the price could fall to $26 per share. A scenario which I think is one of the lesser likely scenarios out of the 4 scenarios I've modeled here. So where do I think is the most probable outcome for DigitalOcean Holdings stock? I think something with a higher PE multiple is most likely for DigitalOcean. And the reason for the higher multiple, I suspect, would be as the company approaches the end of year, its earnings per share outlook going forward is likely to be better than it was for 2024. Remember, 2024, its growth rate is well below the industry growth rate. And I suspect that going into 2025, its growth rate will revert closer to the industry growth rate. Remember, DigitalOcean caters more towards smaller size businesses. And right now, the larger cloud computing companies have been doing relatively well, given their offerings of AI services, given their AI capabilities. DigitalOcean not really as apparent in that category as the larger companies. And then in terms of the rest of cloud computing, the rest of cloud spending, that's been coming down. Businesses have been looking for areas they can cut back expenses and so that they can find money they can allocate to artificial intelligence. So they're looking around categories where they can cut spending, and so they can have that money to allocate towards AI. And that headwind is likely to persist for all of 2024. That's partly why I think management is giving that lower than industry level growth for DigitalOcean. And I think that will normalize starting 2025 or coming out of 2024. I think the cost cutting will reach a limit and they'll need to revert back to getting more services, more cloud computing services, because you can only cut back so much. If your revenue is growing, if the industry is growing, like I told you earlier, the industry is expected to grow by 20%. So if customer demand is growing and customers are purchasing more of your services, you're going to need to offer more services and you're going to get the benefit of that as well. So for that reason, I think the PE multiple increases. Where does that leave the stock price estimate? I would say the stock price, my most probable scenario for where the stock price ends up is between $39 per share and $43 per share in 2024, which would be a slight increase from where it is today, roughly 10 to 15% upside from where DigitalOcean's stock price is today. A relatively good upside here, a good risk versus reward for DigitalOcean. Of course, the forward PE could rise even more than I suggested. The EPS could be more than is estimated. I think the risks are to the upside here for DigitalOcean, given that it's already experienced significant slower than industry growth. I think the risks are to the upside. And so if there's a surprise, I think the surprise is more likely to be on the upside than the downside for DigitalOcean Holdings. So I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are, what you think about DigitalOcean Holdings stock. I always read the comments section, so I'm always interested in the thoughts of my viewers. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.